Stampers, it's Jackie Bolhuis, and I have a super cute, adorable project to share with you today. Now, we are using the half full stamp set. If this isn't your favorite and you don't love wine like I love wine, don't tune me out, because really what I have to teach you today has nothing to do with this stamp set, but it has to do with how to make this adorable little box to put 4x4 cards in as a gift, and then how to make these fun special envelopes. But first, you got to take a look at my cards. I had so much fun making these, and I thought, what a perfect gift for a friend that loves wine as much as I love wine. But they are all basically the same. I just used, the different wine bottles different and colored them different and colored the wine in the glasses differently using my brand new Stampin' Blends. Oh my goodness, do I love to color with them. But that's for another video. Can you tell I'm excited about this project? But anyhow, I made them all pretty similar, just did the circles with the scallop and used some different colors. But I love square cards and I love this size. I think it's just the perfect size to do a note. Now you'll notice some of the words that I have here came from the half full stamp set, but a couple other ones, and I think it's this one and this one. Well, actually, I think all three of these came from the mixed drinks stamp set. So I was just kind of looking for words that, went with my overall theme. But that is our cards. Now, what I want to talk about first off, and then we'll make the box, are the envelopes. Now, I love this size card, but we don't have little square envelopes. So I'm like, well, I guess we just have to make our own. Let's just set these aside and I'll just make one for you. I took our regular envelope, just the medium size, and I licked it closed. Okay, so we'll just close it like so. And then I grabbed my paper cutter, and just to kind of show you how I figured this out, I looked at my envelope, and if I put that right on the cutting line, it measured 4 3/8 in width. Now, I know some of you struggle with measuring, so maybe we should do a little measuring lesson in this video as well. When you look at your cutter here, and I'm hoping this will help you see it, we have quarters, okay, are our bigger lines. So there's a quarter, a half, 3/4, and then 5. Well, in between our quarters are our eighth lines. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, eighths. This cutter even has 16ths. It's the small little dashes in here. So if we look at what we measure, we're 4 1/4, and there's 4 1/2, but we're at this eighth. So it's 1, 2, 3/8. Now we want this square, so we're going to go ahead and turn it this way and come out to our 3/8. So there's our quarter. So then it's one more of the bigger kind of medium-sized lines, I guess. And we are going to cut our envelope. Just like so. We're going to cut that part off. So now we have a size that will actually fit these cards. The cards are 4x4. I started out 4 1/4, which I do quite often, but it made it kind of tight the way I layered them. So this is the card base is actually a 4x8, making a 4x4. So that is what we're going to stick it in. Now we needed a flap. So, and I wanted to coordinate with this wood textures paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut it to the width. Now, if you remember there, our width on our envelopes was 3/8, 1, 2, 3. It was right there. But I'm going to backtrack just a 16th to that little line right there, because I wanted to make sure it's not hanging over. I'd rather have it a smidgen smaller than a smidgen bigger. So we're actually cutting this at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 16ths if you want to cut them that way, and cut that off. So there's my width, and we want it to be 2 inches wide. So we'll just cut that. So there is our piece that is going to make our little flap. Now, I couldn't find my corner rounder. Stampin' Up! Currently does not have one in the catalog, but it's kind of the joke with us Stampin' Up! Demonstrators that have been around for a while. I think they've had 5 million different corner rounders throughout the years. So chances are you have one. If not, the envelope punch board, did you know there's a corner rounder on it? You can use this to round any piece of cardstock or paper. It's just this part right in here. So I am going to take this and I'm going to punch all 4 corners with the corner rounder that's part of the envelope punch board. Even though we're not using the punch board to make our envelope, we can round our corners that way. So, get those out of there. So now I have my nice little rounded corners, and then we are going to score this at a 1/2 inch because we want it just to have a nice fold to fold over our envelope. So decide which way you want to go, and we're just going to take our scoring tool here, and we're going to come to 1/2 inch and give it a score. And then we can get just a nice fold in it like a so. And I like to use my multi-purpose glue. You guys see me use this all the time because it holds wonderful. Just be careful, you don't want to put too much. So I'm just putting a very little down here on this 1/2 inch, oh, there you go, 1/2 inch flap. And then I want to make sure that, here's the part of the original flap. I want to make sure that that's also the back of my envelope. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to line this up with that fold and press it down like so. And now we have an envelope that will fit our 4x4 card. Okay. Now I will tell you that this, you cannot mail these, okay? This size envelope will not go through the mail, but it's perfect if you're including it with a gift or you're giving it to someone or putting it on a coworker's desk. However, if you do want to send this in the mail, just go ahead and double envelope. You can stick this just like so into a regular envelope, and now you can pop it in the mail. Otherwise, if you don't want to go through the work of making the small little square envelope, square cards I mail in medium-sized envelopes all the time. Okay, so that's just a little tip. So let's go back to our cards here. So we had, I think I had 5 of them. So there's 3, 4, 5, and then our 5 cards. And I wanted to make a box to present these as a gift. That was the box I showed you at the beginning. Now, what I want to teach you right now is how you can make any size box, as long as your cardstock's big enough, and how to figure out how to do that. And it is so simple. So we're going to take our stack of cards because I know I want to put this in a box. First thing I'm going to do, we're just going to write on scrap paper here for you to see. So I look at my stack that's going to go in the box. So this could be anything, okay, whatever you want to put in your box. And I'm going to measure it, which we probably know what it is, but so if I start here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, we're about 4.5 inches. Okay, this would easily fit down into a 4.5 inch box. So let's just draw a square. Okay, I am not a math person, so I have to draw it all out. So I need my base to be 4.5. Well, how high do I want this box to be? And what I literally do is kind of hold this together and I lay it, and I'm using my grid paper, and I think, you know, probably, so we don't squish them too much, maybe 1.25 inches would probably be good. So I need to make the sides of my box. So we're going to need sides, okay, on all of these. Can't you tell I'm like not an engineer here? But it works. And this needs to be 1.25. So I need 1.25 on top of that. And the same going this way. We're happening to be making, whoops, square, so it makes it real easy. So how big does my piece of paper have to be? Well, 1.25 plus 1.25 plus 4.5. So that'd be 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need a square that's 7 by 7 to make the base of our box. Now that's key that I said base because we're going to do something different on the top. So let's set those aside. I have already cut a piece of cardstock that is 7 by 7. And remember, we wanted our sides to be 1.25. So I am going to score this at 1.25 all the way around. Like so. Whoops. Throwing things around here. Now we're going to just take this and I'm going to use my bone folder and get some really nice creases on all 4 sides of this. Like so. And then take your scissors. And this is just like the box I made to put the coffee candle in, or the mini little coffee cup. Same principle, it's just a different size square. So we're cutting on 2 sides on this side and 2 sides on that side. Flip it over, and this is where your fast fuse works perfect. You want to put it on all 4 corners here. because this is what's going to hold our box together. And then just go ahead, these little flaps you want to make sure go onto the inside. So we're going to go all the way around, just line up your corners and fold that in like so. And there is our box bottom. So if we measured everything right, our card should fit really nicely into the box. Now, we want to put a top on this. And I want you to think just a little bit logically, because if I made my top the exact same size, it wouldn't fit, okay? That it would fit on top of here, but we'd have to like squish this to get it over. So it needs to be what I like to call just a smidgen bigger, just enough to slide over the top. So what I do, remember we started with a 7x7 square. We want this to be just a smidgen bigger than 7x7. So I'm gonna come out here, and you see the measurements here? Here's my 7. I'm gonna add just a 1/16 to it. So one little notch, that gives me that smidgen. And we're going to cut that side, and we'll flip it around here, go back out to that little 1/16 there, and we're gonna cut that side. We can set that aside. We're gonna grab our scorer again. Now you can score with the cutter if you want, but I prefer to score on here. I think I get better scores this way. And when we go all the way around, I can now forget about that smidgen, and I am going to score at 1 1/4, exactly like I scored at 1 1/4 on the other one. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing with this box. We're gonna make it exactly the same way. So we come in here and we snip these 4 sides. Now you can easily do this with a rectangle as well. Okay, your piece just won't be square, it'll be rectangle. But the key is to make sure on all 4 sides that you are scoring it at the same amount, you know, so 1 1/4 on this one. The other thing, you might want your box top to be a little bit shorter, so when it goes over the top, maybe it only comes part way down, so you see this color too. Then just make, you know, do your math here and maybe make these edges a half instead of 1 1/4 or whatever you want. Looks like my marker wasn't dry and I'm picking up marker on here. Oh well, it's just to show you how to make this little box. Let's go ahead and close that one up. Now, as long as I measured right, this should go right over the top without it having to be squished. That smidgen just gave it enough to slide over there. So there is our box. Now let's go ahead and look at my original box so you can see how I decorated it to coordinate with my cards. Now, I like a ribbon on there, but I don't always like to bring a piece of ribbon all the way around that they have to untie and then, you know, the ribbon just flaps. I like to keep it on there so it always looks pretty whether they open or close it. So what I did, let's take the one I just made here. I actually took my little hole punch and it was able to reach, and I stuck it in there. I had to stretch a little bit because I wanted to punch right on that fold line on that side, and then we'll come around on this side, eyeball it to about the middle. Oh, that punch is sticky. So now I have those 2 holes, and if you look, I just fed my ribbon through the 2 holes and up and tied a bow on it. So that's how I did the top of that to make it pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I love the stamp set, and I can't wait to give these cards to special friends. But I hope you learned something, how you can make envelopes and how you can make any size box. So as always, guys, if you have any questions at all, make sure you let me know. I am here to help you with all your stamping needs. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for almost 23 years now. This is my full-time, I think, 24/7 life, but I love to stamp, I love to share. If you are looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you need a catalog, let me know. I would love to send you one and help you with anything that I can. And again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you'll get more Stampin' Made Simple videos. I can't wait to share my next project with you. Have a stamp happy day.